When we talk about investors in enterprise architecture, and particularly business architecture, we need to realise that there are 5 completely different types of investor. We need to be really careful not to mix them up. The first of these is the one we actually want the most from a business perspective, which is the symbiote. Someone who's committed to us, is part of the same story, but brings something in that we can't access otherwise. Maybe money, but it might also be ideas, might also be support, emotional or social support of various kinds. They are investing their hope, their intentions and so on into us. But they're committed to our story, they're committed to us. That they succeed if we succeed, and we succeed if they succeed. The second type is the parasite, we'll have to call them that. They're committed to us, they provide typically money or whatever, but they commit themselves once. They're not really committed to our story. They're committed to what they're going to get back from us. They will attach themselves to us and may or may not actually provide anything at all. But they're primarily there to take rather than to support or to give. The third type sounds better, but actually isn't. It's a grazer. This is like a herd of goats or whatever, careering across a field. They're committed to the field as a whole, but not to any individual blade of grass within that field. And they require, for their success, they require that the field spends much of its energy regenerating itself so that they gain energy from it. They're committed to the field as a whole, but not to any one entity in it. It's where people, for example, may be committed to an industry, but will jump around from player to player within the industry to get what they need out of it. The fourth type is the one that a lot of us know all too well, which is the predator. They have no interest whatsoever in the story. They have no commitment whatsoever to anyone. They're just there to take. Now, it can be slightly helpful, the whole creative destruction, that a predator culls the dysfunctional end of the herd, and so on. But generally speaking, they are destructive, certainly to the individual. But they do at least put some effort in to hunt down and drive down their prey. The final kind, the fifth kind, is the scavenger. Now they don't even put in the effort to hunt down the prey. Often they will wait around for a predator, or else get a predator to do the work for them, and then drive the predator off so that they can take. So that's the sequence that we typically want them in, and from a business perspective, from an individual business's perspective, that's the order that we want them in. We want the symbiote supported most, and we want to keep the scavengers at bay the most. Unfortunately, our entire economics is based on doing it the other way round. Our stock markets, for example, prioritise the scavenger first. They place the scavenger first and the symbiote last. There are some very interesting questions that we might explore around that. But for now, for our own organisations, we need to understand that we need to keep the scavengers at bay and focus on finding symbiotes, people who are actually committed to the same story and that are committed to us as well, to working with us.